the oceans appeared so vast and unknown that nothing would seem to possibly disturb them. This status quo, however, has dramatically changed with the proliferation of ocean uses. First, with regard to maritime transport and fishing activities. Today, in multiple diverse ways, including using the oceans to extract natural resources, or as the main highway to international trade, and even as a deposit for litter. Gradually, with all the ocean uses and with the scientific knowledge we gathered, we are becoming aware that the oceans are a key strategic asset of the planet we live in. They are critical to the very functioning of the planet with the ecosystem service they provide, such as climate regulation and oxygen production, or for recycling polluting gases, including CO2. In this context, I am happy that the Portuguese organization, Gulbenkian Foundation, inspired by TIB, has just launched an Ocean International Initiative focusing on the economic value of marine ecosystems and biodiversity. The oceans are also critical for our economies and societies, as our future will be more linked with the sea than ever before. Demographic growth requires food security, and this calls for the supply of new sources of protein, including seafood. Globalization requires mobility for growing international trade, and this asks for maritime transports, mega-contained vessels, new waterways, new port terminals, more shipbuilding. Energy demand will continue to grow, and this will mean an extensive use of the sea as a source of fossil fuels, as well as of other forms of energy like renewable energy. Humans will literally be moving onto the sea. Some people already consider the sea as the new frontier for human development. Meanwhile, before all that happens, we have to take into account that a large part of humanity already lives on coastal areas. As we continue to build and expand our cities by the sea, human neighboring with the sea should be a key factor in our global ocean discussions. It is hard to ignore that 80% of all marine pollution is land-based pollution. Even more disturbing, 80% of that pollution is today made of plastics. Ladies and gentlemen, business and the blue economy are crucial for societies and for economic growth in many coastal states. Portugal is well aware of this and is making the right changes in order to promote new growth. However, the urgency today at the global level is preserving ocean sustainability. Do we realize how close to the edge we are? If we do, how can we act together to avoid what is happening? And even more, to prevent in due time what will be coming. The odds are against us, for we tend to better protect what we are able to see, and of course, the seabed is not as visible as our forests. Still, we know about overfishing and fishing destructive practices. We know about pollution and eutrophication. We know about the destruction of marine and coastal habitats and the deterioration of marine ecosystem services. We know about ocean acidification, and we witness negative impacts of climate changes on oceans and coastal areas. We know that red lines risk being overtaken if we do not stop the negative effects of all human activities impacting the seas and the oceans. Should we allow the crossing over those red lines, and we will not be able to explain to future generations that we knew but still did not act? Ladies and gentlemen, we need to act. This is why we are here today discussing ocean governance. But what do we envisage with it? Making it simple. A new ocean governance should prevent the development of ocean uses and blue zones from leading to marine environmental degradation. How should such a new governance be developed? First of all, we need to take a holistic approach to the oceans and the seas. We need to look at the full picture in order to understand the cumulative impacts of all maritime activities and being able to design appropriate policy actions. Secondly, we need to look at the oceans from a bottom-up perspective, starting from the preservation of the ecosystems, not the other way around, as you continue to do today, whereby you look at the oceans top-down through the fragmentic, anthropocentric perspective of our human activities, fishing, maritime transportation, or tourism. Thirdly, we need to invest more on knowledge. Only through science we'll be able to understand the functioning and the resilience of marine ecosystems and determine the appropriate limits to our maritime activities.